Quiz? No, because they're all pretty much basically the same. I'm just going to go through this one. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, so this particular problem, yesterday what I noticed is that a lot of you were not treating the numerator as three products. You were treating the 9x squared together, and that's not the case. This is 9 times x squared times the fourth root of 5 minus x, divided by 7 times x plus 5 squared. So when we go to expand this, we should have log of 9 plus log of x squared plus log of 5 minus x to the 1/4. Those are three factors. So it's the product of 9 times x squared times the fourth root of 5 minus x. Okay, so that's our product property. So now here we're dividing by 7 times x plus 5 squared. So it's minus log of 7 minus log of x plus 5 squared. Okay, any questions there?
Why don't we minus if it's multiplying 7 times x plus 5 squared?
Okay, because at this point, it's the log of all of this, 9x squared, fourth root of 5 minus x, minus the log of 7 times x plus 5 squared.
No, but I'm saying, why did you put a minus between 7 and the x plus 5 squared if you're multiplying it?
Because this minus sign needs to be distributed to both. And I think, is that the mistake you made yesterday? Yeah. So it's by both. And no, that's a great question. So think of this. Think of this. And we really have to see this too. Let's say we had log of A over BC, B times C, right? Okay. So this would be, actually I don't want to do that. Just kidding. What do I want to do? Oh, all right, so think of this. Now let's think of log of A minus log of B minus log of C. Okay, so if we were to take this expanded form and write it as in the condensed form, this would be log of A, right? Divided by, this would be log of A divided by B divided by C. Does everyone agree with that? So log of A minus log B minus log C would be log of A divided by B divided by C. Now this part here, A divided by B divided by C, well, when I divide fractions, it's the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So A divided by B divided by C is the same thing as A over B times 1 over C. So that's going to give us A over BC, which is what you have here. And please look back through your notes because we made that connection before of why that's not going to be a plus. So in any event, to finish this particular problem up, we're going to have log of 9 plus 2 log x plus 1 over 4 log of 5 minus x minus log 7, then minus 2 log of x plus 5. And that's your solution. All right, so there were a lot of, I think the majority of the errors came from treating this 9x squared as one term. And then the second most common error was this 7 times x plus 5 having a plus there instead of a minus. So those were the two most common errors from yesterday's quiz. Now you're going to see another problem like that today. That's why I wanted to address this issue now so that we're not making the same mistake. Okay, as far as last night's homework, are there any questions? So questions on last night's homework? You guys are good? Are you sure? All right. Here's what I want to do. And I think this might be beneficial. We're going to take a look at a problem. And our problem is 1/3 bracket 2 ln x plus 5 minus ln x. And then minus ln x squared minus 4. It's another way of writing it. It's a grouping symbol. So they don't want to write like a double parenthesis, so they'll use a bracket instead. Okay, so where do we start here? So in condensing this one, where would you start? So it seems like we would start within the bracket first. But you have to make sure of what?
You don't distribute the 1/3? No, you can do that after, right?
You can do it either way. It's your choice.
So we best like if we first like put the square or the 2 in, like as a square.
So 1/3, then this will be ln of x plus 5 squared minus ln x minus ln x squared minus 4. Okay, so remember we don't want to use the product or the quotient product property until the coefficients of your logs are all 1. Okay, now what?
Now like, we can distribute the 1/3.
You want to distribute the 1/3 now?
Yeah, I mean,
If you distribute the 1/3, then you're going to have to, you can't have the coefficient in front of the natural log. So if you distribute the 1/3 to all of these, then we're going to have to take another line to use the power rule again. So at this point, do we do what's inside the bracket, then deal with the 1/3, or do we distribute the 1/3 and go through the process? Does it matter? Okay, so let's proceed right now with doing the 1/3 last. So this is 1/3 times. Okay, now that the coefficient here is 1, this will be natural log of x plus 5 squared divided by x times x squared minus 4. And then now we can distribute or bring in the 1/3. So your final answer is going to be natural log of x plus 5 squared over x times x squared minus 4, all of that to the 1/3 power. Yes.
What happens if in the beginning we distribute it?
Wait, hold on 1 second. Go ahead. Oh, you mean, can you just write it as a square root?
No, like, well, that too, but like when it's like, let's say, like that one there,
Uh-huh.
just got like 3.
You mean like the cube root? Yeah. So I think the question is, what's acceptable in the final answer? So here, we do have the natural log of x squared, x plus 5 squared, over x times x squared minus 4 to the 1/3, or do we write it like this, natural log of the cube root, and then x plus 5 squared, all over x times x squared minus 4. Either way is fine. Now, I will tell you that your quiz today is multiple choice, so you have to look at the distractors to see if they're going to give you the final answer like this or like that. Okay, any other questions on the homework? No questions on number 69? Everybody was able to get that one?
We did 69 together.
We did 70 together.
No, we did 69 together.
Oh, so we all understood that one? Okay, we sure? You want to do 70? All right, might as well take a look at number 70. Okay, so here is number 70. Okay, number 70. Okay, we have log of x plus log x squared minus 4 minus log of 15, and then minus log of x plus 2. All right. Okay. So it looks like all of our coefficients are 1, so we're okay to go ahead and start with our product and quotient properties. So log of x times x squared minus 4 over 15 times x plus 2. Now, I'm afraid that at this point, you could simplify this even further. So just like the problem number 69 we did in class yesterday, you see this x squared minus 4? Doesn't that factor, what does that remind you? Difference of squares, right? So log of x times x minus 2, x plus 2, all over 15 times x plus 2. And then we're able to reduce because x plus 2 divided by x plus 2 is 1. So your final answer would be log of x times x minus 2 over 15. That would be our final answer. What I'm telling you is that if you're taking a multiple choice exam or quiz, you may not see this version of it as a distractor. Okay, so you need to know how we went from here to here.
What does that mean as a distractor?
Distractor, the choices. If you have a multiple choice, so those are the choices. One answer is correct. The other ones are there to distract you from the correct answer. All right. So let's go ahead, put everything away.